let's BIM together Revit tip number 8. Linking DWGs, good practices to maximize efficiency. Now in the ideal world, you want to have all of your drafting done inside of Revit. However, if you're a firm that recently transitioned to using Revit from AutoCAD, especially a smaller firm, that might not be reasonable for you. You might not have the manpower, and it might not be within the budgets of those first few Revit jobs. You want to be profitable on top of liking what you do, right? So linking makes sense. You can link your door details, your window details, your standard details. You can link partition types, all that standard cookie cutter cut and paste stuff. However, what I came across is a lot of times when I link CAD files, actually every single time when I link CAD files in the beginning, they did not look the same way they did in CAD when I would bring them inside of Revit. So I actually came across, I had to play with the files, but I came across a system, that way I can consistently have the file, the drawing look the same way inside of Revit and inside of CAD. That way when I make a change in CAD, I know how it looks like in Revit. So let me show you what I found out. You want to have, you go inside your CAD file before you link it. You can do it after too, but I just do it right away. You go in and you set the PSLTSCALE to 0 and you set the MSLTSCALE to 0. The way you would do that is you enter literally PSLTSCALE as a command and then you input 0. Okay, so that's the paper space scale and model space scale will be turned off. That's what 0 means. Revit ignores it anyway, so if you have this set to 1 and it's set to something else, let's say, AutoCAD will deceive you how it looks like inside of Revit. And we don't want that, we want it to look the same. Next, each individual LT scale has to be set to 1. Revit also ignores it, it automatically will change it to 1 when it links. Annotations are ignored again, so you want to turn anything annotative off. And global widths are also ignored, so you want to select every single polyline and set the global width to 0. Let me again show you another drawing just to explain what I'm talking about. Pay attention to these level heads. Basically, the way you would control it in this drawing here, the LT scale is set to 1 and these individual line type scales are set to 0.25. When I bring this inside of Revit, let's see how it looks like. Let's whip this guy out. We're going to close him. We're going to go here. We're going to do link CAD. I'm going to bring back my original drawing. Set this to black and white, easier to see. As you see, this is the file I linked. It looks like this here, yet the line type scale is completely different. And that's because LT scale is set to 1, which is good, but the individual line type scale is set to 0.25. And Revit just ignores it. It just goes ahead. It's like, hey, LT scale is 1. That's all I care about. So how do we work around it? Again, we would change all of these individual line type scales to 1. And then we would control the drawing using just the default LT scale command for the entire CAD file. It's a global command. So again, what I did was I went ahead, followed all these rules, inputted this. You can find this in the YouTube description. I'll mention it again so you don't forget. And when I said that, I created a CAD file and I changed the LT scale, the default LT scale for the drawing to 24. Let me show you how it looks like. Link CAD, get our good guy here, unpin it, move it over to the side, and let's compare. Let's go right here. As you see, now they look the same. So when I make changes to this drawing, I know how it's going to look like inside of my AutoCAD, inside of my Revit. And there you guys have it. I really hope this helps you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next Revit tip.